Alright, welcome back. It's the evening of the 18th. So let's go ahead and check out what we've got. It's been a couple days. Long enough that I actually kind of forgot what we were doing. Or rather, what I had shown you. I know what I've been doing. So let's run the game. Alright, so first up, you'll notice the intro level here is a little different because I have started making the actual game. There is a thing here. These are some little thingies that cling onto the ceiling, and they drop water or fire drops. And unlike they're the same as seeds, except you can't pick them up. And they're useful for setting up puzzles. And here's the fire one. Now, so I'll kind of go through what I'm going, what I'm kind of trying to do with this particular thing. So I want the player to see, the first thing they see is the water drop, and I know it should be, there should be a droplet one that faces the other way. I just haven't done it yet. I want the first one to be something that is not harmful, so that the player immediately says, well, there's something falling, but it doesn't seem to be hurting me. And then there's a fire one. I figured that if I showed them the fire one first, their instinct would be to avoid it, and they may still avoid it, but we'll get to that in a minute. So this jump here actually is the first jump that kind of just you can't get it by doing that, and you have to just basically hold the button down, right? So it enforces the idea that you have to hold the button down to jump higher. So there's another one here, and there's the monster, and you can't do anything with that monster. You can't reach it. You might want to try, but you can't. Right? And so again, it'll be up there. You see it, and you think, nope, it's not harmful. It can't hurt me. All right. So originally I was going to have another monster there, but there were reasons why I took it out, and I'll get to that in a minute. So there. Basically, as soon as you fall, bam, you land on this, and again, fire thing, not harmful. Monster is fine, not harmful. You can go up to him. I don't know if anybody will, but it seems to be. It seems that they'll try. So I'll throw it at him. There he goes. Where's he going? Oh, he came back. So in the controls, you can look up. Now I don't think you can't quite reach it because we're already pretty far down on the map. Now that's a bug, and I don't know how to fix that right now. So maybe we can grab onto it. Oh, we missed him. Let's try it one more time. All right, that's how we got it. Whoa, there's a thing. Okay, we can jump out of it. Again, you see the bottom of the top of another thing down here, so you can drop onto it. Right, and this requires a little more timing, although or you could actually let's drop off of it so I can show you. Or you can actually just drop it onto him by pressing down. Oh, I added being able to throw seeds up and down. Alright, so again, just like before, there was spikes at the top before, there's spikes at the top here. So we know we can't just jump willy-nilly because there's spikes right there. And there's a drippy thing right there with fire, and one with ice or water. So you think, I threw the fire one already. Let's pick up one and try throwing it at this. Hey, it's a little block of ice. And it's pretty square, and there's a fire dripping over there. So I think I have to push him over this way. Alright, and so there he is. And let's see if he actually goes. He might be like, I might hit a bug there. Nope, it's fine. I just hit the mic, sorry. There he goes. And because he's bigger than the thing, he actually would hit the spikes even if I had something different right there. So I just made the whole thing spikes, so you could tell. And that's all I have. So that area is just meant to introduce you to the balloon monster mechanics. pushing things, grabbing onto them, and throwing seeds. But that's not all I've done. Let's go through my little secret area. If I jump to the right initially here, I go to my test area, just so I don't have to constantly be switching. So you see this guy here. This is a new block type. That's the sponge block monster. Right now this is normal. Kind of looks like Marshy from Homestar Runner. I can let's throw a water block at him. I don't know if you could see that, but I actually did take some time to make him animate getting bigger and smaller. So there he is. He's kind of swollen. He looks all gross. Ew, I don't like him anymore. So throwing up, by the way, just hold up. But we'll toss it. All right. And then he's small and shriveled up and kind of sad. Look at him. He's always kind of sad no matter what. But now he's small and we could move him around. I haven't set up the thing in such a way you could do that, but that's the idea. All right, so got a big, and you're actually just slightly too big to fit through this thing. I could probably change it so you can. I haven't decided though, because then you'll be a little too far off. Like your feet will be a little just out of the thing. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So yeah, I think I've actually, it feels like I've added quite a bit, because I added that guy, I added the drippy roots, right? I did a lot of bug fixing to try to make things work, right? There's still bugs, like you saw. Some of them are very difficult for me to reproduce. Like the one where you grab the thing and it like immediately respawns. I'm guessing that happens. What I'm thinking happens is if you grab that at the exact same time that it was going to spawn a new one. Let me see. If you grab it at the same time that it was going to spawn a new one, there's no way for me to tell. Then it'll do it. I won't be anyone. Never mind. You have to be like. All I can think of is that you try to grab is like you're grabbing it in the same frame that it's being recycled. I don't know. What I may do is simply have a timer that says that once it's plucked, it'll take a second and then respawn, and then I don't have to deal with all that again. Right. And the things will stay recycled and it'll just be fine. I don't think it really matters. It's just a strange thing. I had some problems with things that fell down on you, crushing you and just getting you stuck. And I may still have that happen, but I don't want like the little block. I mean, if I do this, let's see if I can do it. It's kind of tricky because it's a very small area. Right? If he fell on you like that, you would just get stuck because you would be in the middle of colliding, and it wouldn't ever it wouldn't let you. The way that collision works in Flashpunk by default is that it doesn't like pop you out of something if you're colliding. It just doesn't let you collide, and it makes you flush against whatever it is you're colliding with. Other systems I've seen will basically move you and then step you back until you're out of the thing. I believe Flixel does that by default, and that means that I could do something like that because you would just pop out after a little while. You would get stuck permanently. But the problem is I have additional code in my mobile thing, which means that you don't move if you're colliding with something, rather that your speed is set to 0. So even if you were moving, you can't move anymore once you're in there. Okay. So another thing I did, or rather I got working, was getting Git and GitHub working. That is now available, and I will have a link at the bottom of, or in the video description, to the source code, as well as this. The only thing you're going to have to do is download Flashpunk and make sure it's in the project folder. I didn't want to also add in Flashpunk for my thing. I wanted to kind of keep it as clean as possible. But all you just put the net folder into the source area, or change the project to add a class path to it. Excuse me, either one of those works. What else did I do? I think that's most of what I did. I also stubbed out the pushing monster and the spitting monster. The pushing monster exists. He can push things, but I haven't done it yet. And I haven't done anything with the spitting monster. Did I do this repeat trigger? I wrote a repeat trigger thing. Simply put, checks and calls a function every so often, right? You update it along with your thing. I actually think I should redo this, but I may be out of time. I haven't looked at how the tweener functions work, but I probably should just add it as a tween. I should just add these both as tweens, and that way I don't have to manually update anything. Well, but I still want to do the trigger timer one, so maybe I will. Because that works a specific way. Did I talk about pushing blocks? No, I did. That's one thing I did already. So yeah, going forward, what I need to do is keep designing levels and areas and puzzles and things like that. There's a lot of polish things to do. A lot of animations missing. A lot of little bugs that are just not really a big deal. So here's where the secret area is. Bugs that are not big enough of a deal for me to do, like, you know, I should make it so these drops kind of point in the direction that they're being thrown. Stuff like that. This guy looks so ugly. He looks all poxed. I have a hard time with art. The problem with my art is that I keep adding more and more detail because I feel like it needs it, and it just kind of looks weird. And I don't mind it too much. Like, it's close enough to what I wanted that it's fine, but it's not perfect, and that kind of bugs me sometimes. But I think it works for the sake of what it is. The other thing I will be doing is I will be adding in the version that I'm playing here. I will upload it to my website and have it available for download if you really feel like it. You can download that. You can check out the source on GitHub. I don't know that anybody will, but you know, you can. If you find any bugs, please let me know. But how do I put it? Use your judgment. Like, if you're seeing that the animations are missing, or that something like that is happening, what I want to know are things like you're getting stuck in like an area, or like you're getting whatever. Like, you're not dying. Yeah, I know. I haven't added in dying because I haven't added in checkpoints, which is what I will do very shortly. Probably tomorrow I will add in checkpoints so that I can have things like that. And I have a 4-day weekend, so I'm going to be, well, 3 days now, but another 3 days to work on this. Yeah, I need to add some music and sound and all that kind of stuff and things like that. Please don't, I don't need. It's more the things like I'm getting stuck when I'm doing this or that, right? Like, I've seen, and especially if you can give me reproduction steps, because I found a few bugs that I cannot get to reproduce. For instance, no, I'm trying to think of some, but I can't immediately. I can't think of any offhand. But yeah. But like, if you're moving and get stuck, right? Like, this guy should never get stuck, I hope. The guy with the ice, however, can get stuck. I'll show you. And I need to fix that, but I haven't yet. As far as general feedback, since you've seen me play it and explain it, it's kind of a little harder to do. All I can say is, see, this guy's probably going to get stuck when he starts floating up. Or rather, he's not going to get stuck right here. He's going to get stuck when he's going back down. I'll show you. Bam. See? I don't know how to fix that. Or rather, I know, but there's a bunch of little minor issues that work together to do that. It's fairly minor because it doesn't really matter, but it is annoying. So basically, feedback I'm looking for is, how does it feel? Do things work okay? Does it work? I'm looking for general feedback about that rather than things like, like difficulty, because you guys have already seen everything like spoiler wise as far as how it's going to go. And I'm going to add in, I don't want to add in a tutorial, but I will add in controls, right? So when you start up the startup menu that says start, controls, credits, and so on, stuff like that may do it. And I may give in and add signs explaining press this to that to do that, but I really don't want to. Right? I really want to kind of let the game do what it's doing. Right? I want it to be like, where do I go? What do I do? Can I look down? Oh, and I will add an animation for him looking up and down. Right? So it should be a lot clearer that you can look up and down. Yeah. It should be much, much clearer that you should look up and down when I add that animation, right? So yeah. As far as how things are going, they're going okay. It's kind of daunting because I have to go from making this from it being just a bunch of things that generally work but aren't necessarily anything, to an actual game. And I honestly don't know how people are going to react to it. I mean, any feedback is appreciated, but just, you know. I probably am not going to have the benefit of going and testing people playing things blind while I'm recording their things. All right, I got a week to do this. Talking about that though, I don't intend to be done, right? I intend this to be a game that I can continue working on possibly throughout the year, or at least the next couple of months, or come back to it later in the year and see what I want to do. I may even add a second chapter or something as part of another one game a month thing, right? If it's something that people respond well to. If it's not, then I probably will just get bored of it. And so I don't intend to have everything in, right? I know that, and I know it's not like Ludum Dare where I can just go back and so I can just go back and patch things and update them and do all that. But I want to have a game that's more or less done so that I can move on to other things for the future, right? So that's why I'm kind of pushing to get things finished, right? I only have 2 boards done. I'm going to need to have a lot more than that. Probably going to have. I'm kind of aiming for somewhere between 15 to 20 boards, possibly 30 or more. I don't know. That sounds like a lot, but as I develop how things work, it goes a lot faster. If I simply do not have any ideas for puzzles, then the game will be short. It's really hard for me to tell how hard a game will be, what puzzles people will get stuck on. That's the kind of thing that people usually test a lot of, but I don't really have that luxury. Maybe that'll be a project for a future one to figure things out. Alright, so that's it for today's update. Feel free to look at the source, feel free to play the game, and let me know either in the comments or via Twitter what you think. Thanks.